this is the day the Lord has made, so let us rejoice and be glad in it. I am Pastor Marianne Kellenbach, pastor at Living Faith Church, which is located in the community of tradition in the state of Florida, in the city of Port St. Lucie. And today is Friday, November the 12th, in the year 2021. We stepped away from our look at faith. In particular, we're looking at Pistis Christo. Is it faith of Christ or faith in Christ? And that has been debated for quite some time. As a matter of fact, one of the things that translation shows us is that in some cases, it's translated as the faith of Christ, like you read on Tuesday. And in other cases, it's transcribed or translated, as the faith of Christ. And those are two we're going to listen to today, is listening to this Galatians passage, Paul's letter to the church in Galatia, as it relates to a different interpretation or a different translation of Pistis Christo. So let me begin by reading that. And it is from King James, the King James Version. Paul writes, knowing that a man is not justified by the works of the law, but by the faith of Jesus Christ. Even we have believed in Jesus Christ, that we might be justified by the faith of Christ, and not by the works of the law. For by the works of the law shall no flesh be justified. So now here you have it right in that verse 16, but by the faith of Jesus Christ versus in Jesus Christ. And again, that we may be justified by the faith of Christ, not by our faith in Christ. So then we go on to say, Paul says, I am crucified with Christ. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Again, the faith of Christ, not the faith in the Son of God. So let's look at another translation. This translation is very similar to the King James Version. And I'm going to read it all the way through because there's just so much richness in this text as we understand. Trusting in Jesus, trusting in the faithfulness of Jesus, and that being faith alone. However, we know that a person isn't made righteous by the works of the law, but rather through the faithfulness of Jesus Christ. We ourselves believed in Jesus Christ so that we could be made righteous by the faithfulness of Christ and not by the works of the law, because no one will be made righteous by the works of the law. How powerful that one sentence is. We ourselves believed in Jesus Christ so that we could be made righteous by the faithfulness of Christ and not by the works of the law. But if it is discovered that we ourselves are sinners while we are trying to be made righteous in Christ, then is Christ a servant of sin? Absolutely not. If I rebuild the very things that I tore down, I show that I myself am breaking the law. I died to the law through the law so that I could live for God. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. And the faith that I now live in my body, I live by faith, indeed by the faithfulness of God's Son, who loved me and gave himself for me. I don't ignore the grace of God, because if we become righteous through the law, then Christ died for no purpose. So what do we make of all this? As Lutherans, as I had said previously, it's both and. And so I want to say that what that means for us as it relates to Pistis Christo, what does it translate to? Is it faith in Christ or is it the faithfulness of Christ? It's both and. We are called to put our faith in Christ's faithfulness. We are to put our faith in Christ's faithfulness. I'm going to say it one more time because I so want you to dwell on this today. We are to put our faith in Christ's faithfulness. Carry that with you all day today. Let it dwell in your hearts. Think about what that means for us to place our trust in Christ, who placed his trust in God. Blessings, and I will see you tomorrow.